All right, guys, we're starting a little earlier than usual today, but because I'm actually working like a normal person, Tyler was laughing at me complaining about being outside of my house for more than 4 hours a day. But for the next month, that's going to be the case for me. But enough about me. It's time to talk some touchdowns. I'm in here with the leader of the Picket Hate Club. That's right. Tyler hates union members picketing in front of his job. No, actually, that's not what he means there. Good joke by myself. And of course, the Dolphins truther, JC Zargo, as once again the Raiders moved to 3-0 against the spread after their new head coach from Compton leads the way. That's right. We cover once again. What a beautiful day for me. What a beautiful day for the Raiders fans. And of course, we are talking touchdowns. Tyler, we're going to go game by game, but overall thoughts from week 11.
Yeah, I mean, how far can Houston push themselves through the playoffs? How good of a draft did they have this past year? Where's that going to rank all the time? Like that's the things right now, I would say. And this AFC, like when you pull up the playoff picture spread, boy, we're going to have an entertaining last 4 or 5 weeks. The teams on the outside looking in, Bills 6-5, Colts 5-5, Broncos 5-5, Bengals 5-5, Raiders 5-6. Somebody really good's getting left out of the playoffs. I can see it happening. And I also think somebody really bad's just going to fall into a spot.
Well, if you're talking about really bad being in a spot, you're talking about the NFC, who quite the drop off there from Seattle in 7th to Green Bay in 8th. JC, your overall thoughts about yesterday?
Yeah, I think we learned a lot. Kind of a tough weekend to handicap. Didn't have too much action out there for that reason. Just a lot of it was pretty much like all double-digit spreads and field goal or less spreads, and just a lot of teams didn't really know what to make of them. But I think we got a much better idea after this weekend. Kind of straightened some things out, and kind of excited to see how the rest of the season plays out.
All right, let's dive right into.
Before we jump into the games,
okay.
Just looking at this right now, is the NFC playoff picture pretty much locked in except for one spot?
You'll have to help me there. Go break it down.
Eagles sit atop the NFC at 8-1. The farthest they're moving is 2. The Lions are at 8-2. The Niners are at 7-3. The Saints are at 5-5. I think that is the one spot that can still switch. Mm-hmm. The Cowboys hold the first wild card at 7-3. Seattle 6-4, and the Vikings are 6-5. The teams on the outside looking in are Green Bay, the Rams, and the Falcons, all at 4-6. I don't think any of those teams catch the Vikings. So I think the only spot would be the Saints losing their division title to, say, Tampa. I think everyone else is locked in.
Yeah, it would take a miracle for like Green Bay or the Rams to catch up. Yeah.
I would say the Niners can definitely catch who's the number 2? The Lions?
Yeah, the Lions. I would say they're not set seeding wise, but these are your 7 teams. Or these are your 6 teams, not counting your NFC South winner, because that could go any which way.
I think I would agree, because who's the only one is the NFC South, because I don't think the Packers are going to catch the Seahawks.
Yeah, the Packers won't catch the Seahawks or the Vikings.
All right. Let's check in with the chat. Clyde says DeVito's better than Pickett. All right. Clyde, this is an NFL show. We're not talking about Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He says Bengals and Raiders are out. Yeah, I'll probably have to agree with that. I want that cat, says Tyler loves Tomlin. No, that's this guy here. Tyler is the spoiled rich kid who can't appreciate what he has and consistently wants to throw it away. I see my guy Gerardo Hernandez in here. Clyde says, can I just say I'm very happy you guys don't do a daily baseball show. I would lose my job watching you all go year round. Yeah, and I would lose my mind.
What a lovely comment from Clyde. I don't think you get too many of those very often.
Yeah.
That was very complimentary. I appreciate it for one.
All right, speaking of a lovely performance, let's talk about C.J. Stroud, who threw for 336 yards, 2 touchdowns as the Texans won the game against the Cardinals. And Tyler, depending on when you bet it, you either won, lost, or pushed. That's right. This line opened at 4, went all the way out to 6, finished at 5. So I don't know who did what on this game. We didn't get involved. I like the Cardinals +6 towards the end. did not pull the trigger. My buddy who I was hanging out with did, and he enjoyed that win, although it was sweaty. Kyler Murray still looking pretty good, but the Cardinals couldn't get it done. Texans get the big win. Your thought?
Yeah, I mean, glad we didn't have money involved in it just because the way the lines moved and everything. If I would have caught that 6, I probably would have teased the Texans down to 1 with someone else. But didn't get that chance. CJ Stroud looks like an absolute stud. I mean, every week after week, he just keeps producing. Tank Dell looks like they hit in the draft also. Will Anderson's getting overshadowed on the defense. He's been good too. So they hit on all their draft picks. This team's solid. They got a big game coming up this week against the Jags, and that could decide the division. So watch out. I think they hold an AFC playoff spot. I don't think they're one of the teams that falls out in the end. They could easily win this AFC South in the end. So they're a team.
And don't look now. That's a pick 'em. And who would have thought that before the season?
Watch out for this team next year. I mean, talk about like when you look around the league, it's like who's going to be the team that rolls into free agency and just dumps money and signs everyone because they have the rookie quarterback set. Mm-hmm. It's Houston, and they're going to go get all the nice pieces in free agency. They're going to be a powerhouse next year, in my opinion.
All right, JC. So we're giving a lot of love to Houston. What did you see from the Arizona Cardinals side of the ball? I thought Kyler looked pretty good. What are your thoughts, JC?
Yeah, I thought he did. It's definitely, considering how long it's been since he played ball, expectations are kind of low. I don't think he needs to come out and do anything dramatic. He was consistent. He had some nice carries. You kind of hope he opens it up more as we progress this season. But, I mean, their season's already shot, so there are no high stakes, right? So it is just kind of go out there, get a feel, and, kind of build a rapport with those offensive guys and see if, you can put something together that will give you a strong starting point for next season. But, I mean, you certainly wasn't blown away by his performance or anything.
I thought he looked better than you did. So Arizona Cardinals, from what I've seen, probably will not be drafting a quarterback with that high draft pick that will be available to them as they're sitting at 2 and 9. Tyler, I talked about that sweaty teaser, man. I thought the Lions were going to blow it for me again. And it sucked too because I said Lions plus Steelers, and my buddy in the book did Jags plus Steelers, right? He's sitting back, arms up, just waiting for that final second to cash, right? As that was an easy one on both sides. I mean, even at 10-0, I felt like that Steelers play was pretty good. That Lions, man, they got lucky there. I don't know who it says more about. Does it say that the Lions are a good team or the Bears are simply that bad? They get the final 31-26. Should have been 29-26, but a bad snap goes into the end zone and the safety. If we were a little worried about the cover there because we needed that 2-point conversion to get there, that's what ended up happening. So what do you take away from this game? I think this is where I say I like watching the games after I already know the result because I was so emotionally invested because, I wanted to win that bet so bad. And I was getting really frustrated with Lions and Goff. To be fair, though, they've been playing pretty well and they're due for a hiccup. And it's good to have that hiccup where it's not a total loss, right? So what are your thoughts?
Yeah. If you would have told me that Goff was going to play possibly his worst game of the year, I know the Baltimore game, they got housed, but that really wasn't all on him. The entire team didn't show up for that Baltimore game. Mm-hmm. He throws 3 picks in this game. They're forced to go away from their strong suit, which is their run game in this game. And he's playing like he's got the wrong helmet on. And they still win the game. I think it's more on Chicago being a terrible team. The Lions are definitely one of the top 3 teams in the NFC. Could possibly be a top 4 team in the entire NFL. I mean, just still being able to get the job done after Goff played a terrible first 3 quarters. And then that last drive was able to put it together. They won the game. The end was almost a travesty for Bears backers because if they fall on that ball in the end zone, then the Lions not only cover the teaser, but they cover the full game spread, and that would have just been a terrible way for the Bears to go out. But in the end, the Lions win the game. They cash the teaser. I don't see Goff putting up a performance like that again. I mean, some of those passes were just off. He looked like he was just had a bad day. They still won the game in the end. So nothing. I don't take much away from that from the Lions, and the Bears stink.
JC, if you were the Chicago Bears, would you keep Justin Fields or draft a new quarterback?
No, absolutely not. I don't think there's any reason to keep on Field. He kind of has momentary flashes, but I mean, how long are you going to keep holding out? This team is so bad, and they've been bad for so long. Fields clearly isn't the answer. I mean, he's just looking at the way he plays, looking at the stats. He's, if he can't run, he's no good. If he's forced to pass, it's going to be ugly. I mean,
you just watch him throw the ball compared to Stroud, and it's just night and day.
Right. And there's nothing to hold out for there. As for the Lions, though, I mean, I was really impressed. Like, the trend yesterday kind of seemed to be teams pulling out wins despite lackluster quarterback play. And being a divisional game, the game's always going to be closer, more intense than you want it to be. So the fact that the Lions put up 17 points in the fourth quarter, I think it says a lot. It says that they can play from behind, and they're not just a team that can blow out teams and knows how to play with the lead. So, I'd be fine with that outcome as a Lions fan.
I'll tell you one thing that I was impressed with yesterday. It felt like at 26-14, we just needed the one touchdown. And when it was 26-21 and the Lions got the quick stop and you saw Goff on the sideline, he looked confident. And at this point, I tell my buddy, this is going to come down to the 2-point conversion because they're going to march down the field and put it in the end zone, right? And we had the -1.5 on the teaser. So I'm like, this is going to come down to the 2-point conversion. Goff looked excellent there. He's getting all the people involved, and we see why they drafted that running back. DB Gnarly says Texans are going to be good for the next few years. Robert likes Fields. So it is an interesting question here from Keg. He says the Panthers must look at Stroud and say, what did we do? I'd also wonder, obviously I think Stroud will be a win or two more, but it's such a better situation there.
Yeah, Houston was actually,
and that's why when people always say tank, do you know what that does to your team? Yeah. How bad your offensive line has to be.
Like CJ Stroud's not doing anything behind that Carolina offensive line.
And who does he throw to? Like, nobody's open.
I would generate pressure as a pass rusher against that Carolina offense.
Bro, Adam Thielen's their number one.
Yeah, like he has no one to throw the ball.
He wouldn't even touch the field on the 49ers.
He has like a half a second before he's got to try and run for his life. Like, if he was on Houston, I don't think he does as good as Stroud's doing, but they're still winning games.
Adam Thielen's a 3 or 4 on every other team, and he's their number one. But let's move on there. I'll tell you one thing I agree with Kegs, they should just not have made the trade. I mean, they should.
Yeah, they gave up too much to make sure they got what they thought was their
to guy. Move up one of the smallest quarterbacks ever, too.
Yeah, but
it's not like they're moving up for a can't-miss guy.
It's one of those things where, like, we talk about this week 11, their rookie year. It looks terrible because the guy drafted a pick behind him is balling out in a much better system. But 4 years from now, we could look back on this and go, CJ Stroud played a really good week, 11 weeks, and then his second year regressed heavily, and we never seen that guy again. And Carolina built a wall in front of Bryce Young, and he turned out to be really good. Like, yeah, it could go either way. Like, Carolina's just got to build him a foundation. Like,
I would be really surprised if Stroud doesn't end up being a top 10 guy for the next 5-6 years.
You could put Tom Brady in Carolina and it would make a difference.
I don't think Patrick Mahomes makes that team good.
For sure. It doesn't matter.
There's another team Patrick Mahomes ain't making good, and we'll talk about them soon.
My guy Patty would, but all right, we were talking about the Panthers. So, I mean, just real quick, Cowboys win 33-10. Tyler, I was worried about that one. You convinced me to put it on the sheet. Thank you for the money. Your thoughts?
Which game are we talking about? You sped through that breakdown. I didn't catch it.
Because it's the Cowboys and the Panthers. We've been talking about the Panthers for the last 5 minutes. So
we just talked about their – I ain't even going to break this one down much. We just talked about how bad their offensive line is, and they played Dallas. And we know what Dallas's pass rush looks like.
Yeah.
I thought Michael Parsons might have won himself the Defensive Player of the Year yesterday, but instead he decided to do some pre-workout. Like, I think he injected C4 into himself or something, they said. And after 2 plays, he said it felt like his heart was about to explode out of his body. So he did nothing yesterday. and he was just in
Oh,
shambles.
is that what happened?
Yeah, I'll look it up and get the exact. But he did something with C4, like the pre-workout, and had himself all messed up during the game. And
all right, JC.
Well, one other thing, the cornerback from Chicago, Bland, has 4 pick
like
sixes.
5 TDs.
Yeah, 4 pick sixes just on his own. I think that's a wild stat.
I mean, Parsons should get credit for like half those, right? Because a lot of those are when you're under or just the defensive line in general. A lot of those are just because the quarterback only has 2 seconds to get rid of the ball, and after a certain point, it's just like YOLO. JC, your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, my biggest takeaway was if Dallas is playing a team with a losing record, no spread is too big. So, I mean, especially looking ahead to next week, playing a crappy Washington team, doesn't matter what the spread is. Just go ahead and bet the Cowboys to cover.
All right. Let's talk about the Commanders who fell 31-19. Tommy DeVito, 246 yards, 3 TDs, outplays your guy, Kenny Pickett. Your thoughts there? We'll start with you on this time, JC. What do you think of the Commanders losing?
I mean, bad scene. You know, losing to the Giants like that. You know, you can chalk a close game out to division rivals, but I mean, playing Tommy DeVito, losing by 12 at home, that's a bad look. I certainly think we can downgrade Howell after that, you know, high ranking I gave him a week or two ago.
No, we're not going to overreact to this stuff.
I don't know, man. I mean, 3 interceptions to the Giants.
Yeah, but everyone has bad weeks. Like we all wanted to put Josh Allen like number 17 last week. He looked pretty good yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, and Saquon, I mean, he kind of carried that team, right? He looked great. Kind of the first big game it seems like we've seen out of him this year. It'll be interesting to see DeVito next week because
will it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, playing the Patriots, another kind of easier spot.
I think he's going to get jacked out.
I don't know. So, I mean, that's what'll be interesting to see, right? There's no indication that he's going to be a great quarterback, but stranger things have happened. He looked competent out there. He now has.
Yeah, but Zach Wilson looked competent for a couple weeks too, and we saw.
Well, spread. Glad you brought up Zach Wilson because Tommy DeVito now has more passing TDs than Zach Wilson.
I think he has more multiple touchdown games than Kenny Pickett as well. Tyler, your thoughts here on poor Meg? I mean, boy, how disappointing is that loss?
Yeah, it sucks for our girl Meg, but small breakdown here, spread. When bad teams play bad teams, the outcomes just you never know what's coming. Washington trades off all their defensive guys that are actually impact players. Their defense gets worse. They're fully relying on the offense, which makes their team worse. Young quarterback makes mistakes, giving the Giants opportunities to score. They play this game 10 times, you get 10 different outcomes every time. Like the Giants are the bottom of the NFC East right now, and Washington's the next step up. That's what it is. Like, sorry to our girl Meg, but they're in rebuild mode. They have pieces that are bright, but they need other pieces to make them a real team.
All right, there you have it. Anything else from this one before we move on? All right, the Chargers, they lost again.
This game was this was the perfect example of why this was like when we scrolled through the game spread, it was like, oh, Chargers -3 in Green Bay. This doesn't scream trap of the week. Like, Green Bay sucks. Everyone thinks they suck, and the Chargers are going to go play outdoors, and their defense sucks. Jordan Love was able to make some plays, get some touchdowns on the board. And Justin Herbert's got one wide receiver, and Austin Eckler looked like he was wearing a parachute trying to run down the field yesterday, how slow he looked. Quentin Johnston sucks. He might as well go play in the XFL. That dude can't catch. So the Chargers, when you only got 2 offensive weapons, there's only so much you can do. Herbert actually ran the ball very well yesterday. I will give him that. He's really the only shot they had in that game in the end. And his wide receiver just drops the ball. It would have put him in field goal range to tie the game. So it's not on him. I hate to take the blame away from him because everyone's going to be like, oh, Herbert always gets a pass. But in the end, that wasn't on him. He put that ball right where the receiver can get it, and that dude can't catch. So
yeah, What was he
Go ahead.
supposed to do? Run out and catch it for him too?
Yeah, it was supposed to be one of the, remember those commercials where the dude throws the ball up in the air and he runs down the field and catches it and he's like, draft me for your fantasy team. Like that was what Justin Herbert
That was
was
Mr.
supposed to do.
Perfect.
Yeah.
For those old enough, that was the very best Mr. Perfect vignette where he threw the football to himself. Yeah, that's about what Herbert has to do in that offense. JC, do we want to give Green Bay props or just continue slandering the Chargers?
Yeah, no, I mean, Herbert did everything he could to put his team in a position to win. He played excellently. His guys couldn't catch. I mean, Eckler fumbling. It was just ugly. Green Bay played a decent game, but they had no business winning. They should have been blown out. And yeah, the Chargers, that team just let down their quarterback. No other way to paint it.
All right. Anything else on this game before we move on?
Yeah, you know who is a waste of like best ball picks and also high end like season long fantasy picks? Christian Watson. Talk about a waste of a pick. And Aaron Jones.
Christian Watson had a TD yesterday.
Yeah. And he had 21 yards. And I think that's his second touchdown of the year. Maybe his first.
All right. Yeah. I set myself up for that one. Tyler, you have the leader of the Picket Hate Club on there. Steelers finally let me down. They fall to 6-4. They fell 13-10 to the Browns. I said Jordan Love was the worst quarterback.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Of official starters, we're not counting DeVito and the other guys that came in. Talking about guys that were supposed to be starting from week one. Pickett's right there, man. He can't do anything because he can't make a play when things break down.
Yeah.
At least Jordan Love can like move and throw the ball. Like Pickett's when he rolls out, he's so slow.
Yeah, Pickett, he's not it. The more everyone at first was like, "Oh, Canada's system stinks. Canada's system stinks."
Like, what's he supposed to do?
It does. Don't get me wrong. The system does seem like it stinks, but the more you watch it, Pickett's not good at all. He can't move the ball anywhere. I'm starting to think that like the whole system being dumbed down is because how bad he is in practice, maybe. And they're like, we don't want to expose him and make him look even worse than he is. So we're not going to run all these crazy plays. We're just going to have him dink and dunk. They're just relying on the defense. They look so bad. They can't generate any points. I think he's thrown for like 300 yards in the last like 6 weeks. He's already had multiple touchdown passes games than DeVito, and DeVito's played like 4 weeks. But they do open up a very nice bet for us. There's no way this team makes the playoffs. I don't care what their record is. The Bills are plus 165 to get in the playoffs. They're stealing that spot in the end.
That's great.
That's my take on that game.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost impressive. No, it is. It is straight up impressive that Kenny Pickett go 15-28 and only have 106 passing yards.
Yeah,
you throw 15 completions. 106 yards. That's wild. This was, such an ugly, gross game.
What they need to do, and they won't do it, is draft a guy this year. You don't got to do it in the first round. Just there's a plethora of quarterbacks coming out. Take one of them and just have that guy there. And because they're going to give Pickett another shot at the beginning of next year.
Why?
But like, I don't, because that's what the Steelers do. They're going to drag their feet on this, and it's a hometown guy. So they're going to drag their feet. There's really no one in that. Like, the fans they're not even calling for Mitch Trubisky. They're calling for Mason Rudolph, and they know this room shot. Like, they don't even want the backup. They want the backup's backup. Go draft DJ, the kid that was at Clemson, went to Oregon State, the big kid. He's playing in a pro-style offense right now. You're not going to have to waste a high-end round pick. You could probably get him in the 4th or 5th. And that dude could easily end up like how Dak Prescott is.
Why don't you just do – did you watch that game, Tyler?
We stink.
With DJ on Saturday?
I didn't catch the one on Saturday, but I've watched.
Go to the other side of the ball. Michael Penix is going to be the best quarterback.
I don't want
so good.
No, I don't want something like
that.
I don't want somebody
just because he drops dimes.
Oh, let me look back through college quarterbacks that throw straight 60-yard bombs down the field to wide receivers that are 9 times out of 10 wide open for touchdowns. Justin Fields.
That guy, I can't remember his name. It's
Justin Fields. It's literally Justin Fields.
No, I'm talking about the guy's not getting a lot of separation. Penix is dropping balls in there. Their receiver, he's got good ball skills. He's not an
if I'm
athlete,
drafting a
though.
quarterback, I want a guy that's ran a pro style offense, not a guy that's just running and gunning and putting up Pac-12 stats like that.
Okay, we're gonna revisit this. This is gonna be Shangoon all over again. Penix is the guy. The only way he's not just a stud is if he gets hurt. JC, what were your thoughts there as the Browns fell?
I mean, I gave most of them while you were away. I just,
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I was going to ask though. What do we think about Cleveland's outlook with Joe Flacco?
I think you just run DTR back out there.
Yeah, he's only signed to be the backup. No, I mean it's Flacco. Give me.
But so I mean, between I just feel like it doesn't matter. Like Joe Flacco, DTR, PJ Walker. It feels like it's all the same.
Tell me this ain't the bet to make after watching these two teams play, and that's Buffalo to make the playoffs at plus 165. You're telling me one of these two teams ain't dropping off the playoff picture?
Yeah, both of them might.
Exactly. So they might get two swings at this.
Yeah, I like that.
That's a great bet.
All right.
Can you imagine that at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, Buffalo if you would have told somebody at the beginning of this season that at week 11 you're going to get Buffalo Bills plus 165 and make the playoffs, that dude's going to be like, all right, well, here's $1 million. Go put this on that for me.
Yeah. All right, real quick, we'll just talk about the Jaguars and the Titans. Whoop-de-doo, Jaguars won. Levis after that.
No. We ain't going through this one all that fast. I got victory lap taking this one.
Yeah.
Go on. I told you I only want Levis at home. I'm not eating the L on him.
It ain't Levis. It's Calvin Ridley stinks. He's not a number one. What's your thoughts on this, Tyler?
He's not a number one. He needed Zay Jones to be out there.
You see the type of schemes.
The worst pass defense. I didn't even know what pass funnel was until the Titans existed.
Yeah, I'm just recanting my words from our Friday show. It's like, the schemes they run and all the routes Ridley's having to run now without Zay Jones might be hindering him a little bit. Plus the extra attention. Here comes spread. Well, Calvin Ridley's not a real number one if he needs to rely on the 3 in the scheme, which understandable. But Zay Jones shows back up, and Ridley absolutely nuked that team yesterday. And there's, what is it? The 3, let me see if I can pull him up real quick. The 3 games where he's 3 games with Zay Jones this year, 8 catches, 101 and a touchdown, 7 catches, 122. And then yesterday, 7 catches, 102 and 2 touchdowns.
Okay. Great job, Zay Jones agent, but you didn't sell me on Ridley at all.
Well, it's the fact that the offense they run once their third receiver is back opens up for their wide receiver 1. It made them look a lot better. When Zay Jones is in, you bet on Ridley. When Zay Jones is out, you leave Ridley alone or you'll be unhappy.
Your thoughts, JC?
I mean, nothing too crazy. Still don't really know what to make it with the Jaguars against good teams, but playing a Tennessee team, they always dominate. Tennessee team that has Will Levis under center. Tennessee team away from home just went as expected. Pretty ugly. No reason to overreact to the Jaguars. I still think they're probably a tad bit overrated and better than a 7-3 record would indicate.
All right, and I think that's fair because they do play in one of the worst divisions of football. The last game of the morning, JC, the head coach from Compton, moves to 3-0 against the spread. JC, you know how many podcasts I listened to this week on the NFL? Every single team. The Dolphins are going to blow them out. Lay the alternate spread. Dolphins by 30. Then your favorite quarterback throws the easiest pass in football, a slant to Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill burns like 4 Raiders defenders, and everyone's going to tell me how great Tua is. My takeaways. Number 1, the Raiders under Pierce are a tough, fun team to watch. I'm so happy to be a fan. And number 2, I'm absolutely right about Tua. Tyreek makes that whole
let's not overreact. It was one bad week. We can't overreact to one bad week. Well, what did everyone say about Josh Allen last week?
This happens every single week.
No.
Every single week.
No. Finish your breakdown and then pass it this way.
I'm done. You're up.
Okay. Look. For starters, I'll give Vegas their flowers. They played a great game yesterday. They have a good defense. Something we all forgot. There were high expectations for Vegas coming into this season. Okay?
Were they? We had a 6.5 win total.
Was it that bad? Just over the past
I
couple
have
years,
over 6.5. My buddy's just bagging on me for having that.
Sure. But this was supposed to be a good team, right? This team that Gruden put together, McDaniel took over. They're it's a solid team, and we kind of forgot that because they played so poorly over McDaniels. They have an incredible defense. Offense, maybe a little something to be desired. Obviously, you got some issues. You don't really know what you're doing under center. But yeah, that coach has this team looking competent, like a solid team. Maybe a team that could make a playoff push. But here's the thing about the Dolphins. First off, we won. Yes, Tua looked terrible, but that happens. Defense picked him up. Defense took care of business. This Miami team is the only team in football, that doesn't have a bad loss, right? Like the beginning of the season, you circle your wins, your losses. They have won every game they should have. And so, yes, they didn't cover this game, but it's, San Francisco lost to Arizona. Kansas City lost to Denver. Miami is taking care of business. They're winning the games they should.
The spread.
That's really all that matters.
Spread. Remember this time, 31-17 when they lose this game on Friday to the Jets.
Oh, they can't lose to the Jets and lose this game.
If they lose this game outright to the Jets, we got.
Isn't Doyle Brunson playing quarterback for them? I don't think they're going to lose.
Fucking, they got some guy named Tim Boyle under center now.
Yeah, Tim Boyle Brunson.
That would be a hell of a sentence to queue up, though. Like, you have JC's face, he's giving that breakdown, and then it goes black for a second, and then just the box score of Jets 17.
And the record scratch. You might have wondered how I got into this situation.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler, break the tie, dude. Break the tie. The Raiders aren't that good. Tua's overrated. What do you think?
I'm not gonna say Tua's fully overrated. I mean, the one touchdown to Tyreek was nice. He found him in the seam in the defense. Tyreek did catch it and then burn a couple guys, but he did that with Mahomes too. Mahomes still had to find him in those spots. The Raiders are better than I think a lot of people give them credit for. It's definitely due to the coaching, and I think they've even said it it's the players' team now. The guys are all bought in. You're seeing it. They did it a few weeks too late. If they would have did it maybe 2-3 weeks earlier, they would have been up here even farther in this playoff picture and making even more of a log jam. In the end, spread, I mean, I said it. He probably doesn't keep the job a few weeks ago. He keeps winning. He might keep the job.
Yeah.
I think if they just keep playing well, they want to keep the job.
I mean, also too, man, when they just pan over that sideline, those guys look like they're having fun.
Those guys look like they're actually having fun now.
Demeanor.
Yeah. And he talked about Tyreek Hill burning guys on the touchdown. That's how Tua got the touchdown. His boy AOC got the touchdown because Devontae Adams threw the DB on the ground. And the ref was just like, I didn't see it.
Okay, but to be fair, I had AOC at 27, and he had Tua at number 2.
Yeah, but you had AOC at 25, and you had Justin Fields at 20.
No, it was 27 because you put it 27.5, and I even admitted that I probably screwed up because I was tired at that point.
I had 2 at 5 for what it's worth.
I know. I like to.
I also went back.
He had a bad game, right?
I also feel like you guys kind of did that breakdown show. JC, the way you ranked them was this season. The way spread ranked them was all overall.
I know, and I kept telling him that.
All right. Let's keep moving to the afternoon. The Niners covered the spread, but the game didn't go over. Your thoughts?
Yeah. It sucks it didn't go over. They had multiple chances. I mean, Baker got into the red zone multiple times.
Well, they got to start kicking field goals.
Yeah, they were down 14, though. That's why they wouldn't kick the field goal. They were just trying to punch the touchdowns in and then try and get the ball back and tie the game. I wish they would have kicked the field goal to put the total over. CMC looked good. They said Brock.
Yeah.
I think Brock Purdy posted a perfect passer rating in that game. So there's for all the Brock Purdy truthers. And they look like they're back. They look like they're just going to keep winning games now. Interested to see how they play into the playoffs. I think Spread's got something going on his computer.
Yeah. He's on mute. And
I think he lost everything.
Oh man.
No, did you hear
yeah.
the Christmas music playing? I don't even know where
Yeah, I
it
did
came
hear.
from.
I heard music playing or something.
I have like 5,000 windows open. I can't figure
You
out.
couldn't
which
figure out
one.
where it was at.
Oh, that's
All
the
right,
worst. Other than
JC,
an ad
talk
pops
about
up.
the Niners.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I mean Tyler summed it up. I mean, really disappointing, right? Like I thought the over was a safer play there, and of course they just blow them out. The San Francisco team is so good. Like it's scary. I mean, yeah, I understand it's the Buccaneers, but still, just week in, week out, going in, and destroying teams. It's boy, are they a force to be reckoned with. As long as they stay healthy, I don't see how they're not in the Super Bowl. You're on mute still, Spread.
Now you got to go through them 5.
Okay, the Christmas music ended. I don't know where it even came from. Tyler, are the 49ers the best team in the NFL right now? I say yes.
No.
Who's the
I
best?
say no. Philly.
All right. What do you think, JC? Who's the best team in the NFL right now?
It's got to be San Fran.
And they lost their all-pro starting
Finally, we
safety.
agree on like one thing in our whole career together.
I want that. Cat makes a good point. They lost a linebacker and they lost Hufanga for the rest of the year to a torn ACL. So your best team in the league got weakened right off the bat.
And your best team in the league is going to take an L tonight.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, we will see. I can't wait for it to see those direct messages. Let's see what else we got in the afternoon. The Bills beat the Jets. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, whoop-de-doo. Anyone have anything on that?
Nah, I mean, they won the game like they were supposed to. The Jets.
Yeah, I guess Josh Allen's not as bad as you guys all said when you were mad that I had him in the top 5.
Yeah, calm down. It's the Jets.
I still think
it's the Jets, one of the best defenses in the league.
I still don't think he's exactly what everyone thinks he is. I think he makes a lot more mistakes than people try to discredit.
It's okay, you're acting like there's like 20 good quarterbacks running around.
I just think when you look at it, everyone wants to put him on the high end of the elite categories. I think he's more towards the middle or the back end.
And I don't think that defense is as good as you're making them out to be.
They're on the field.
Ridiculous.
They're on the field 24/7.
They're arguably the best defense in the NFL.
But when you're on the field 24/7, you're eventually going to give up points.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. The Rams. Was that a lucky money line win, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, they knocked Geno Smith out the game.
Everything went our way, especially when Geno went out for that little bit. Drew Lock came in through the interception. I had actually gone up because I didn't think the Rams were going to win. And in Reno, it was like the smoke was just getting to me. So I was like, I'm going to go to my room. I'll just watch the Niners. This Rams is already an L. And I had to go back down and watch the end of the Rams game. That was a lot of fun for us holding that money line ticket. And disappointed for Seahawks backers. This team, right? They're in 7th place. They got a chance to make the playoffs. They have to be disappointed. They couldn't get a win against a team I think they're clearly better than.
Yeah, I think they're definitely better than the Rams, but they have some injuries going on. Kenneth Walker got banged up in that game. He went out. Geno went out late. They said Geno's going to play on Thursday. I don't think Kenneth Walker's going to play on Thursday. So load up on the Niners there. I mean,
what do you think of Charbonnet? I think it's a definite downgrade. As much as they like him in best ball.
I think he's solid. I think he's solid. But he is
Walker's really good.
Yeah, I think Walker's a giant step up. But as for the Rams, I mean, it sucked to see Cooper Kupp go back down with a high ankle sprain, especially after dropping the touchdown when I was on his anytime touchdown. And then he never got another target. And then Puka Nacua decided he was going to light up the game, and that should have been Cooper Kupp. In the end, they got the money line home for us, though. Happy for that.
All right, JC, your thoughts?
Yeah, man, that was a sweat. That was one bet I wrote off and was happy to see it end up cashing. Didn't watch too much of it. Vegas had it right. Should have been a pick 'em. Like I said, I really didn't watch much outside the first quarter, so I don't have too much thoughts on that.
Okay, that's fine. Let's talk about your number 5 quarterback, Josh Dobbs, who couldn't beat Russell Wilson last night. What'd you think of that one?
I mean, it's kind of went as we said on Friday, right? It's kind of going to be a toss-up. It's going to be a close game. You didn't really know what we're getting because Dobbs looked great, but Wilson seems like they're putting things together in Denver. I mean, a win is a win, and that's really good to see. But it's it's hard to grade that win because as good as Dobbs has been, it's beating Minnesota by 1 at home. That big of a victory.
Yes, that's my thoughts. What do you think, Tyler?
I don't think it's. I mean, they won the game. It's a win. They're pushing themselves farther up into the playoff contention in the AFC. Their defense being back together after being injured to start the year is good. They're finally putting together the offense a little bit. I got a hot take in this one, though. It's not even like a hot take, like football-wise. That first drive where, for some odd reason, I don't know who came up with this play, but they threw TJ Hawkinson under center, and he threw a toss to Josh Dobbs, and he tried to run like a running back, and he got absolutely crushed at the first down marker, and they fumbled it. I think he got concussed on that play because he did not look like the same guy we've seen the last couple of weeks. Like some of those decisions throwing the ball, he would have ran it. The interception was bad. Like I think he's a little banged up. I wouldn't be surprised if he hits concussion protocol in the next couple of days. But, I mean, that's all I really take from that game. Denver was able to sneak out of there with a win. Russ is doing what he needs to do to win the games. He's not the elite Russ he used to be. He's not as washed as Twitter and the media will tell you either, though. I would gladly.
So Josh Dobbs either got concussed or he's not that good.
I would gladly take. Well, I mean, I still think he's better than, like, I'd say he's right around like median quarterbacks in the league right now.
Yeah, I think it's a fun little story, but Jeremy.
I mean, like, just who are the guys you wouldn't take him over right now? And of course, like the outside of say the top 10 guys. You're taking Dak over him. You're taking Goff. You're taking
Kyler. I'm taking Stafford. I'm taking Purdy.
Is he better than Derek Carr? I say yes.
The same.
I think he's better than Derek Carr. He's better than the likes of Ritter. Of all those bottom dwellers, he's better than them. I think he's better than Minshew.
All right, I guess we agree. Let's not take any more time on this. Okay, Tyler, so I'm not going to be able to finish this segment. I'm on here for another 8 minutes, and then I'm going to go ahead and just turn it over to you. Tonight, the Kansas City Chiefs host the Philadelphia Eagles. Tyler, do you have a number on this?
Plus 2.5 and 45.5 is the total.
Okay, I have plus 2.5 and 46 in my book. Plus 1 to 22 for the Eagles on the money line. Tyler, I know we are absolutely opposite on this game. I'm on the Chiefs. Andy Reid's like something stupid, like 22-3 off a bye. He's beat the Eagles the last 7 times they played in Kansas City. I have the best quarterback in the NFL. Go ahead and tell me why I'm wrong.
Best quarterback in the NFL is going to be standing on the sideline a lot tonight, spread. Because this game is going to be won in the trenches. Philly wins every trench battle. Kansas City is going to get pushed back and forth by these offensive and defensive lines. And this ain't going to be the Super Bowl that everyone watched in February where there was points galore. These guys are up and down the field. Hurts is punching in touchdown after touchdown. A.J. Brown's taking the top off the defense. Like, you're going to get some points. But I think it's just going to be Philly using Swift, running the ball, chewing clock, making sure Mahomes doesn't get all these chances. I also think this game means way more to Philly. Like, if you're Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, you've been here before. You won Super Bowls. You've been in the AFC Championship game how many years in a row? This is a regular season game that isn't even a conference opponent. If you lose it, does it really mean that much in the end? You would probably see this team again in February, either them or the Niners. So you really don't want to show your hand that much to where Philly lost the Super Bowl. Philly wants this game back. I think they're fully motivated to come in and win this. Hurts off a bye week when he was dealing with a little bit of an injury. I think he comes back and smashes. I love his anytime touchdown at plus 130. And I'm on the Eagles here, plus 2.5 and the money line. I think they win this game.
JT, talk to me about the side that you've taken for this game, because even though Tyler and I disagree, I'm not putting my money where my mouth is. I've not bet it. So far, I'm just giving you my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, hard to bet against Andy Reid on a bye. I'll give you that, but I'm on the Eagles. I mean, Tyler kind of touched on it. I said it Friday. It's just, I know the last 2 seasons. It's been a while since this has happened. The last 2 times there was a Super Bowl rematch. The following season, the loser of the Super Bowl won. I think that's what happens here. Chiefs look great. Don't get me wrong, but the Eagles are they're at a better point. Kansas City, we see this every year. They kind of have some bad spots throughout the season. They put it together by the time the playoffs roll around. Eagles are sharp, ready to play. I expect them to come out strong, and I think it could get ugly. Like I think I could see the Eagles winning by like 7 or more points.
We're just going to keep discounting the best quarterback in the world, huh?
Yeah.
All right. What props are you guys looking at?
I love Hurts' anytime touchdown here. I love Kelsey's too because the way Philly's defense is built. We talk about pass funnels. This defense is more of a funnel to you're going to force the ball to the tight ends. Like we're going to pass rush you. We got DBs, but in the middle, that's where we're weak. I don't mind like a Kelsey Hurts touchdown parlay at like 3-1. I think they both get in the end zone. If you can find those little weird like game specials where it's like Kelsey first, Hurts second, you can probably get a nice price on that. And I would just bet them both ways. Another one I like that I seen posted on Twitter that I think is a decent bet at the odds. What are the chances both these teams score a touchdown and kick a field goal in both halves?
That's an interesting one. I definitely haven't thought about that.
Really going to control this game.
I mean,
JC?
I think the Eagles defense is really going to control this game.
I mean, I could see that for sure, but I think it's like a touchdown and a field goal out of both teams, and all I need is 10 points out of each half out of both sides. I think that's definitely doable. And if I told you you're getting it at 28-1, is it worth a shot?
Yeah, probably.
I didn't even think about that. I mean, you're completely
like there's 2 ways this game's played out. It's Philly sits on the ball and they're just dragging it out and trying to just keep this low scoring and win the game. Or B, Mahomes is shredding their defense and they have to play keep up. If they play keep up, that 28-1's probably cashing.
All right. JC, what props do you have?
I like Mahomes throwing an interception. I got -114 on FanDuel. Might be able to do better elsewhere. Hurts is -108. That's not terrible either. But specifically, I'm definitely going to be betting on Mahomes.
All right. Tyler, or JC, I'll let you sum it up here. Tyler and I are opposite, which is fine with me. We've been winning a lot. There's no reason for me to go against the kid.
Before he goes into that, just one quick bet from our guy Josh in the chat. I mean, this is a great one. Swift coming off 18, 16, and 15. His rushing props 13.5. That is definitely a safe bet for the over, in my opinion, in a game where I think they're going to try and run the ball more and just pound the ball to keep him on the sideline.
All right. Sounds like a plan. So there you have it from us. JC, words of wisdom.
Yeah. Got a good one.
Let's go, JC. You knew this was coming.
It is. I was trying to think of a good way to set it up. I'm just going to jump into it. You are the only one who gets to decide what you'll be remembered for.